K-pop's biggest girl group of all time and the biggest boy group of all time are about to shake the world in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready because BTS and Blackpink are finally coming back, and this comeback will give us such a year that it'll be packed with new songs, music videos, concerts, and at least 300 to 400 videos from Korea. So much is going to happen. Everything is about to get chaotic. On one side, Blackpink, a group that hasn't released an album in 4 years but continues to fill stadiums around the world with their tours. On the other side, BTS, reuniting after an almost 4-year break due to their military service. Throughout this video, we'll first focus on Blackpink's 2026 comeback, the album process, the delays, the tour strategy, the controversies, and the members' individual plans. Then we'll take a deep dive into BTS's post-military return, the Arirang album, the massive world tour, and the crises and reactions that emerged during this period. First, let's start with Blackpink's comeback. In a way, it feels like Blackpink already made a comeback last year. Concerts sold out, the group has been on a world tour for nearly a year, and all of us were eagerly waiting for a new album. But a world tour without a new album felt a bit bittersweet. They said it would be released in May, then November, then December, and that didn't happen either. Then they said the new album would definitely come in January, but the album never came at all. After months of uncertainty, Blackpink has finally officially announced the release date of their third mini-album, Deadline. Through a short teaser video shared on their social media accounts on January 15th, the group revealed that the album will be released on February 27th, 2026. This album will be the group's first new release since Born Pink, which came out in 2022, and for that reason, fans are extremely excited. Regarding the delays, YG Entertainment gave similar explanations at every stage of the process. Company representatives stated that they needed more time to raise the album's quality standards and to complete all preparations properly. In fact, the group had already started filming music videos for this album back in October. Jisoo even mentioned in an interview she gave in November that the album preparations were almost finished. So as you can tell, the music videos were actually filmed months ago. As you might expect, the title of the group's new album is Deadline. Deadline will be Blackpink's first album release since Born Pink. Released in September 2022, Born Pink marked a major turning point in the group's career. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, making Blackpink the first K-pop girl group to achieve this milestone since 2008. Songs from the album, including Pink Venom and Shut Down, also ranked at the top of global charts. Following this major success, the group's long absence from releasing a new group album both raised expectations and brought criticism along with it. Unfortunately, this new album caused some disappointment because the teaser video clearly stated third mini-album. In other words, many of us were expecting a full-length album, and honestly, it was a bit upsetting to see them return with a mini-album instead. The last album, Born Pink, was released back in 2022, and nearly 4 years have passed since then. Because of that, expecting a full-length album felt completely reasonable. A mini-album usually consists of only 3 or 4 tracks, and one of those will already be the song Jump, so we'll actually be hearing very few brand new songs. Still, we'll say better than nothing, accept it for what it is, and move on. Another disappointing aspect was the physical album designs. It was announced that Deadline would be released in 5 different physical versions. When the visuals for these versions were revealed, many people expressed that they didn't like the album's design at all. Online users compared YG Entertainment's design approach to the members' individual solo albums and argued that the group album did not receive the same level of care and attention. In comments across social media and online platforms, fans said the design felt too plain, relied solely on the group's image, and lacked visual creativity. Some fans also pointed out that YG Entertainment seemed to have moved away from the strong aesthetic identity it was known for in previous years. While the mini-album format already suggested that the number of songs would be limited, the decision to release a large number of physical versions became another point of criticism. Many felt this was a purely commercial move, and that perception made fans uncomfortable. As you know, the group is still in the middle of a world tour. This tour, which began in July last year, became a period in which Blackpink once again proved their global power as a group. As part of the tour, they held concerts in major cities such as Barcelona, New York, Paris, Singapore, London, Jakarta, and Bangkok. During these shows, they adapted their outfits to reflect the cultures of the countries they performed in. One of the most talked about stops of the tour was Wembley Stadium in London. Blackpink made history by becoming the first K-pop girl group to hold a solo concert at Wembley. Despite not having released a new studio album for 4 years, the group's ability to fill stadium-scale venues has been regarded regarded as a major achievement within the industry. This clearly showed that Blackpink remains at the top through their brand power and stage presence, independent of album sales. By the way, the tour will come to an end next week in Hong Kong. Let me quickly jump in here. If this video gets 4,000 likes, I'll do a live Q&A on Instagram. Don't forget to like the video so we can chat a bit. Now, getting back to the video, some of the Blackpink members' solo plans outside of group activities have also started to become clearer. Jisoo announced that she plans to release her solo album following the drama Boyfriend on Demand. In messages sent to fans, she said that this time she wants to manage her time better, explaining that in the past, focusing on too many projects at once made her feel unsatisfied. Stating that she is actively working on the album, Jisoo emphasized that this process is now much more planned and organized. Jennie, on the other hand, will be performing solo at the Mad Cool Festival in Madrid on July 9th this year. According to information shared by Vogue, Lisa will take part in the Kith Women's Spring 2026 collection as a guest designer. The collection is scheduled to be released in February. As for Rosé, there is no confirmed solo album or tour schedule for 2026 yet. However, in an interview, she hinted that she might release a new song with Bruno Mars. Lastly, one more important point I want to mention. This year marks Blackpink's 10th anniversary. It sounds unbelievable, but the group debuted in August 2016 and 2026 officially marks their 10th year. Because of this, the new album may also serve as a kind of 10th anniversary celebration. That might be why they kept delaying it, perhaps to make it as perfect as possible. Of course, the fact that Blackpink's comeback is happening almost at the same time as BTS's return made things even more interesting. Seriously, get ready for chaos and fan wars in February and March. Now let's move on to BTS. After nearly 4 years of absence, we finally learned that the group will be making their return in March. Guys, I honestly still can't wrap my head around this. You're at the absolute peak of the industry and then you suddenly disappear for 4 years. What makes this even more incredible is that the South Korean government had stated that BTS were not required to enlist due to their contributions to the country, yet they still chose to serve in the military and took a long break, and when they returned there were still millions of fans waiting for them. Truly legendary. With all the members having completed their military service, BTS reunited and officially began their long-awaited group activities. Jimin had already revealed during a live broadcast on November 1st that the group had finished recording their new album. This announcement created massive excitement among fans. Shortly after, Big Hit Music confirmed in an official statement that the group would release their new album on March 20th, 2026. In recent days, the group's album details were also revealed, and the title of BTS's 5th studio album was announced as Arirang. And hold on tight because this album will consist of exactly 14 tracks, guys. 14 songs, 14 new songs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Apparently, these 14 tracks were selected from around 100 different songs, so it really feels like they're going to make up for their long absence with this album. So if you're wondering what Arirang means, it's actually the name of a traditional folk song in Korean culture, a folk tune with deep cultural significance. According to the explanations, this name represents feelings of longing, distance, separation, and reunion passed down through time and generations. That's why I personally find it very sweet and emotional that the group chose such an album title for their long-awaited return. In the messages shared by the group, it was emphasized that the Arirang album is a project that summarizes BTS's journey up to this point. So I can honestly say that an incredible body of work is waiting for us because I've never seen this group release anything bad. That's why I'm genuinely extremely excited. Throughout the album process, the members also shared small updates with fans on a regular basis. In posts he made in November and December 2025, RM mentioned that the album was almost finished and that the group was deeply immersed in rehearsals and filming. RM especially emphasized the quality of the music and asked fans to be patient. J-Hope previously mentioned in an interview that he was curious about how the individual identities the members developed during their solo eras would come together once they reunited as BTS. According to him, the combination of these different sides would bring a strong and fresh energy to the group's music. The members also sent handwritten letters to fans before the album announcement. These letters included notes expressing the excitement excitement and gratitude they felt about reuniting. By the way, I think Erang is also the name of a live broadcast series by Stray Kids members Ian and Lino, and from what I understood from the Twitter arguments, it's also the ship name for these two members. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Because when BTS's album name was revealed, I suddenly saw a lot of Stray Kids fans reacting strongly on Twitter. When I looked into it to see what was going on, I noticed comments saying that this name had already been used by Stray Kids before. As a result, the two fandoms basically went to war with each other. There's also the album logo, which we haven't talked about yet. This was shared as the logo for Rank, but some fans commented that the logo felt meaningless. On the other hand, some fans argued that the logo actually has symbolic meaning. For example, one person said that the dark and broken forms in the logo represent pain, pressure, and absence, while the red tones symbolize reawakening, the reclaiming of strength, and transformation. They wrote that the logo reflects the idea of confronting trauma and moving beyond it. What do you think about the logo? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Did you think it ended with just an album? Of course not. The group will also be going on a world tour this year. Honestly, since I know my own name, that my city wouldn't be on the tour list, I didn't even bother checking where they were going at first. But then curiosity got the better of me, and I took a quick look anyway. The tour will kick off on April 9th, 2026 in South Korea. The schedule includes a total of 79 concerts across 34 cities worldwide. The tour is planned to cover Asia, North and South America, Europe, and Australia. There have also been some rumors about additional dates being added in Japan and the Middle East. By the way, with this tour, BTS will be among the first Korean artists to perform in large stadiums in certain cities. Massive preparations are being made for this tour as well. It has been announced that a 360-degree stage design will be created for the concerts. With this setup, audiences will be able to experience the stage in much greater detail from every angle. However, there are a few points about this tour that have been criticized. One of them being ticket prices. Fans found the ticket prices extremely high and voiced strong criticism. The scale of the production, the 360-degree stage design, and the additional costs planned for the concerts clearly have a big impact on ticket prices. But regardless of the price, we all know these concerts are going to sell out anyway. When BTS goes on a world tour, do you think it won't affect the economies of those countries? Of course it does. In the cities where the concerts will take place, hotels completely lost their minds and raised their prices 2, even 3 times on the very day the tour dates were announced. I've personally seen hotel prices increase by up to 10 times, and it didn't stop there. Before the concert dates were even officially announced, some hotels reportedly called guests who had already made reservations for those dates and told them that the hotel would be fully booked and that they needed to cancel their reservations just so they could resell those rooms to BTS fans at much higher prices. Honestly, people can be incredibly opportunistic no matter where you are in the world. But like I said, the economic scale of this world tour is on a completely different level. According to analyses, the tour is expected to generate over $1 billion in total revenue, including concerts, merchandise sales, licensing deals, and digital income. Now let me ask you a question. If you had only one chance, would you use it to go to a Blackpink concert or a BTS concert? Write your answer in the comments. Until the next video, take very good care of yourselves. I love you all so much. Goodbye.